The Neverhood is a 1996 point-and-click adventure game developed by the Neverhood, Incorporated and published by DreamWorks Interactive. The game follows the adventure of a claymation character named Klaymen as he discovers his origins and his purpose in a world made entirely out of clay. When the game was originally released, it was unique in that it featured all of its animation done entirely in claymation, including all of the sets, rather than 2- or 3-dimensional computer graphics, like many other games at its time. The gameplay consists mostly of the player guiding the main character Klaymen around and solving puzzles to advance in the game. As the player advances through different areas of the game, there are various video sequences that help advance the plot. In addition to being unique, the Neverhood aimed at being quirky and humorous, as is evident by the characters, the music, and the plot sequence of the game. Characters: Klaymen, the main protagonist and player character. He resembles a humanoid clay man with a short brown tube on his head. He has a red shirt with 3 buttons. When he pushes the left or right button, a small door in his belly opens, revealing a compartment which he uses to store items. He has brown fingers on his right hand and wears brown short shorts and white bare legs. He walks slowly and does not speak at all during the game until he introduces himself to Hoborg in the good ending. However, he does make various grunting noises when performing certain actions, and he screams loudly if caused to jump down the large drain that drops straight out of the bottom of the Neverhood. The drain is, according to the game's manual and signs, danger, don't jump in the drain, you will die, the only area where Klaymen can die. Willy Trombone, Klaymen's friend and son of Hoborg's older brother, Ottoborg. He has a yellow head with a ring on top, a green shirt, green shoes, big teeth and yellow spikes on his back. He is not very bright and has a tendency to eat what drops in front of him. Despite this, he proves to be a very useful ally. Hoborg, one of the 7 sons of Quater and creator of the Neverhood. He has a crown on his head, given to him by Quater, which supports his life force, as demonstrated when Clog takes it off and puts it on himself, causing Hoborg to go into a deep slumber. Big Robot Bill, a robot friend of Willy and created by Hoborg's brother, Ottoborg. He is a huge yellow robot with a red tie and 2 left arms and has a good-bad switch inside. His only spoken phrase in-game is "Me Bill." Hoborg gave him a large blue teddy bear which was destroyed in a fight with Clog's guardian, the Clockwork Beast. Klaymen blows his head off with a cannon to avoid him damaging the Neverhood. Klaymen moves Bill's switch from bad to good, and together Klaymen and Bill rescue Willy from a weasel, and the 3 of them go to Father's castle. Bill is destroyed when Clog uses the cannon to shoot a huge hole in Bill's chest and he falls off the Neverhood, with Willy inside. Bill and Willy are returned by Hoborg in the good ending. Teddy Bear, the teddy bear, a gift given to Big Robot Bill by Hoborg, is large and blue. Its destruction by the Clockwork Beast was Bill's main motivation to destroy the beast. Clog, the main antagonist. He was created by Hoborg, who told Clog he could have everything in the Neverhood except his crown. Clog took the crown and put it on. Before he turns evil, he resembles Klaymen but with 1 button on his shirt and possibly different colors. When he puts the crown on, he is transformed, his eyes turn different colors, he gets big teeth and claws on his hands, his skin turns red and he has white socks with his toes sticking out. His shirt turns brown and his pants turn brown as well. He has 2 possible fates. If the player chooses the bad ending, Clog is punched out by a transformed Klaymen. If the player chooses the good ending, Clog tries to kill the awakened Hoborg but steps on the remote for his cannon and is blasted clean off the Neverhood. Weasel, large crab-like monsters and minor antagonists of the game. 2 of these monsters are encountered. The first one is green and is encountered when Klaymen plays with Willy's music box. This awakens the weasel, who bursts out of the wall and chases Klaymen. It is destroyed when Klaymen makes a dynamite dummy of himself and feeds it to the green weasel. The second one is purple and is encountered after Klaymen flips Bill's switch from bad to good. It is attacking Willy, but Klaymen commands Bill to punch the purple weasel, saving Willy. Development: Doug TenNapel came up with the idea of a plasticine world in 1988, creating approximately 17 structures. due to his dissatisfaction with the way David Perry ran Shiny Entertainment. Nape left the company in 1995. 2 weeks later he announced at E3 that he started his own company, the Neverhood, Incorporated, which consisted of a number of people who worked on Earthworm Jim 1 and 2. Steven Spielberg's DreamWorks Interactive, which just started in that time, needed fresh and unusual projects, and Nape approached Spielberg with the idea of a claymation game, with Spielberg accepting it for publication. The Neverhood, Incorporated made a deal with DreamWorks Interactive and Microsoft, and the game went for development. After a year of work, The Neverhood was finally released to the public in 1996. The game elements were shot entirely on beta versions of the Minolta Road 175, making The Neverhood the first stop-motion production to use consumer digital cameras for professional use. Soundtrack. The game's soundtrack was composed and performed by Daniel Amos frontman Terry Scott Taylor and went on to win GMA Magazine's Best Game Music of the Year award. Tom Clancy's video game composer Bill Brown called the Neverhood soundtrack the best of any of them. Ports and Legacy. A PlayStation port of the game titled Klaymen was made and released to Japanese audiences only, with some minor changes to the PC version such as longer loading times between room to room. The Hall of Records area has been removed. The Japanese release of Skull Monkeys, in turn, received the appropriate name Klaymen 2. In June 2011, it was announced via Facebook and Twitter that some of the original developers of the Neverhood are currently negotiating for exclusive rights to release the game on modern platforms such as iPhone, iPod Touch, iPad, Android phones, Android tablets and Windows Phone. As official support had ceased, for example updates for modern OS and hardware, a fan group created new compatibility fixes in the Neverhood restoration project in 2013. In July 21, 2014, SCUM version 1.7.0 was released by the SCUM project, which added support for the Neverhood, allowing to run it on many supported platforms including Linux, OS X, Windows and Android OS. Reception. Critical reaction equals, the game received an average score of 87.00% at Game Rankings, based on an aggregate of 7 reviews. The game's Facebook page Neverhood Mobile posted a link to an independent YouTube video review uploaded in 2011, which ranked the Neverhood in the top 5 greatest games of all time. Sales equals, the Neverhood sold only about 42,000 copies. An additional 600,000 OEM copies were purchased by Gateway and pre-installed on their computers. Over the years it turned out that the Neverhood also received a huge fan base in Russia and Iran as a result of the massive bootleg copying and distribution of pre-installed games on PCs. Awards. Computer Gaming World gave the Neverhood the 1997 Special Award for Artistic Achievement. Animation Magazine Euroshow Film Festival World Animation Celebration awarded the game Best Animation Produced for Game Platforms in 1997. Sequels. A sequel to The Neverhood was released in 1998 for the PlayStation, entitled Skull Monkeys. It was not a point-and-click adventure game like the first installment, but rather a platform game. Following the sequel, another Japanese PlayStation game set in the Neverhood universe called Klaymen Gun Hockey was made. A Japan-only sports action game, it was based on the characters of the Neverhood, but was not developed by the designers of the original games. It also did not feature the previous release's distinctive claymation design techniques. The game is a variation on air hockey, only played with guns instead of mallets. Was developed and published by Rivalsoft, the publisher of Japanese releases of the Neverhood series. A June 25, 2007 Variety article confirmed that the Neverhood would be one of the first projects of the newly formed Frederator Films, a company formed for the purpose of creating animated feature films budgeted under $20 million. The IMDb entry of the film suggested that it would be released in 2011. It has been later confirmed on Doug Naple's website that the Neverhood film project is on hold. Klaymen is featured as a secret fighter for the PlayStation game Boom Bots, also developed by the Neverhood, Incorporated. On March 12, 2013, Tenable announced that he had partnered with former Neverhood and Earthworm Jim artists animators Ed Schofield and Mike Dietz of Pencil Test Studios to develop a clay and stop-motion animated point-and-click adventure game. While stating that the game would not be a sequel to the Neverhood, Tenable reiterated that the game would consist of his unique art style and sense of humor, and have an original soundtrack by Terry Scott Taylor. The game is called Armicrag. References. External links. The Neverhood at Moby Games, The Neverhood Official Site Archive, Hardcore Gaming 101, The Neverhood/Klaymen, The Neverhood at the Internet Movie Database, The Neverhood TV, All About the Neverhood.